Looking for a way to unlock the full potential of your digital dentistry workflow? I'm Elise Hifko, Associate Manager of Digital Services with Ivoclar. I'm excited to introduce you to CAM Academy, Ivoclar's new in-person training experience designed specifically for dental technicians. This hands-on course explores the full potential of programmable CAM software, helping you take your digital workflow to the next level. Learn directly from Ivoclar experts, refine your skills, and bring new precision and efficiency to your lab. CAM Academy is more than a course. It's your next step in digital excellence. To reserve your spot, visit the Ivoclar Academy website or contact your local Ivoclar sales representative today.
Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 391 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
My name's Barbara. I like the way you emphasize one. Because you're number one. You came in number one.
I did not. I did not.
You did.
I actually came in third, and I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Only because of all the triathletes, right?
No. So we were both in the 10K, and what? There were 6 people running the 10K?
Maybe.
I mean, it was really light. And there were 2 gentlemen younger than me, right? Mm-hmm. So we start the race. Boom, I blow out. I'm out in front of everybody. It is 1.5 miles out, 1.5 miles back.
Right.
I didn't know that we were going to have to go another 1.5 miles out and then 1.5 miles back. So I was in first place halfway through it. And then when they told me to turn around and do it again, my psyche, my mental, I went bleh.
That happened to me too.
I got to do this again, the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And these younger guys just kind of went by me, and I came in third. But that's fine. I mean, I still had a good time compared to what I regularly run. But
oh, you were awesome! I was so happy for you.
Don't make runners go out and back, out and back, out and back, out and back. Just no.
I'm not going to say anything negative about the race because I love the people and I love the event. But it was hard for me to just start with 3 people. Like when I race, there's like thousands of people or hundreds of people. So that was tough for my psyche. And I forgot my socks. So I had to wear your
sock barbs.
Thank you. That was awesome. So who forgets their socks for a race? Barbara does. Like, duh. And then my knee kind of effed up during the process.
Not because of the socks.
But you know what? It was fun. I watched you just go like a rabbit. It was awesome. Good job.
I had a lot of fun. The whole couple of days, great trip.
I know.
Fort Worth, Texas does not disappoint. We had a great dinner at this place called Billy Bob's.
I watched a bull, bro.
I would probably not walk in this place on my own, but since dinner was there, we went, and it was, I don't know, this thing was the size of like 6 Costco's put together of just bars, bull riding, square dancing.
We saw a bull ride. I videotaped that. That was like the most amazing night of my life. I loved it. It was so cool.
All of our listeners from Texas are like, what's the big deal?
How much did we raise?
Well, the total at the race was $87,000.
Wow.
Which is huge. So big thanks to the sponsors and everybody that pitched in whatever little amount, man. It all adds up. All the people that donated, just thank you so much. And
I know.
It's all coming back to the industry.
Yep. You know
But we have decided to go back to Texas next year for the same race.
Awesome.
And there's plenty of time for people to kind of put it on the calendar. Join us. It's tons of fun.
Well, I just want to let you know I'm doing the whole thing.
The triathlon. You're going all in.
I'm in. Yep.
All in.
I'm committing.
Love it.
Yeah, it was kind of weird for me to just go with like 6 people to the race. And I'm thinking to myself, you should be doing the whole thing. So I'm in. I'm committed.
When you saw the guy that was running with us that was in jean shorts?
Yeah,
like,
I did.
Where'd this guy come from?
And he was stopping and walking, then running, then walking.
Hey, at least he's out there. It's just, it was out of place.
Just chilling. That's what happens when you're in Texas. People wear jean shorts when they run. Never seen it before, and I'll probably never see it again, but it was fun.
Okay, so our next dental-related trip is actually November 6th to the 8th for the Nowak Lab Fest that's happening in New Orleans.
It's all over Facebook and social media. I'm sure people know about it.
Did you see that video of them as babies?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was hilarious. So, unfortunately, Barb is unable to make this trip.
So I want to say why. So my mother is taking all of my siblings, which is one brother and one sister, and all of their people that they're married to on a cruise in honor of my father. So I am sad that I'm not going to be there, but I think we're going to spread his ashes over the ocean, and it's going to be just a really neat thing. So sorry I'm not going to be there, but I know you're going to stand tall for me.
And I am making it a goal to make you so jealous that you wish you were there.
I already wish I was
by
coming.
having
Trust
so
me.
much fun.
Do you spend time with your family very often?
I try
Sorry.
not to.
Did I say that out loud?
But seriously, this thing in November is going to be amazing. NOLALabFest.com. You get all the details about the speakers and the events. So Aidite, they are sponsoring me to be there, so I'll be recording at their booth all weekend.
Don't screw it up, man. You better stand tall.
Well, you need to be there to help me remember to hit record. But as we've always said, a better meeting is better recording, and we know this is going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah. I'll be there in spirit.
As you will. Something that's kind of been hinted on social media, and I'm super excited for, that I'm actually hosting a Family Feud style game show for lab techs at this event.
That is so perfect for you. You are going to just drop it.
I cannot wait. So I've been watching videos of all the Family Feuds, Steve Harvey and Richard Dawson.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to kiss anybody, I promise. But I'm so excited. We've been working on the questions and the format, and it's going to be so much fun. So if you want to come for any reason, come to see me host Family Feud.
It's awesome.
Hopefully somebody will record it so you could watch it.
They will. You know they will.
So this week, we talked to two people running the education for Zest Dental Solutions. So even though they do a lot of courses for clinicians, these two have pretty extensive lab background. Joining us again is their Director of Sales for the U.S., Todd Hydock.
He's so good.
Yeah, he was on years ago, and he's back to give us updates on their new Angled Locator abutment, which was much needed.
And you're geeking out on that, I know.
A little bit. Of course, the Locator Fixed. But also joining him is the Director of Education for Zest, Amy Helayel. Amy talks about her clinical lab journey that brought her to Zest. And after dabbling in sales, they soon found out how good she is at education. And they're putting on an upcoming Lab Masters course in Las Vegas. And of course, we get all the details about it. So join us as we chat with Todd Hydock and Amy Helayel. Voices from the Bench. The interview.
Helayel.
Helayel.
Oh, there's somebody else on here?
Well, yeah, we got Todd Hydock.
Hell.
Like hell.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, Barbara, how you doing?
I'm doing better than I should, thank you.
Helayel.
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 All right, we better get going. I'm going to forget it. Helayel. Barb and I are super excited today to talk to some people from Zest, one of my favorite companies. If you know anything about me, I'm a nerd for overdentures. The people that bring us, the Locator attachment and so much more from Zest, we're welcoming back to the podcast. Todd, I looked this up. You're on episode 70.
70? That was like
it was
5
a while
years
ago.
I thought it was like 2 years ago.
No, it was a while ago. And I also noticed, I was like, oh, he was on there a second time? And I was like, that's weird. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, he was with Dr. Shearer, and Dr. Shearer just talked the whole time. Yeah. Todd Hydock, welcome back to the podcast. How are you, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, man, doing fantastic. But you're bringing a new one to the podcast.
That's
Someone
right.
I got to meet at Derby. We had a evening event talking about the Locator attachment. They invited me to come witness it, and I always go in there with the mindset that I'll know more than the speaker, and boy, was I wrong. Welcome to the podcast, Amy Helayel.
Helayel. Very good.
Helayel, Amy Helayel. Welcome. How are you?
I am good, Elvis. How about yourself? Hi, Barb. How are you?
Fantastic.
Hi. So happy you're here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And he's going to mispronounce your name, and that's okay because that's how we roll.
That's okay. As long as you can get Amy down, then we're pretty good. We're halfway there.
Right.
Well, tell me, Ami. No. So, Todd, what you been doing since you've been on since 5 years? Obviously, you're still with Zest, still killing it. Anything new to update us on?
Oh, I'm sure because I've seen it. Go ahead.
Well, I'm the director of sales for the whole U.S. I have a great group of sales folks out there speaking the good word of Locator. I've had a heavy emphasis on education. We're actually currently right now at our global facility here in Las Vegas, doing a Zest Mastership with about 35 clinicians. And so we've been doing a ton of education, not only here at our facility, but also remotely across the country, whether it's a 2-day mastership or evening programs. And yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been a great ride here at Zest, and we're just constantly, just getting the word out there and supporting all the clinicians that need the support, as well as laboratories on Locator Fixed. Yeah, so it's been great.
So I've seen your ads everywhere. I think I got emailed one. I've seen them on Facebook. How did you guys, is that like a dream team sort of thing where you guys realized that you wanted to start bringing people in and teach them?
Yeah, it started actually probably right around COVID. As you know, with COVID, a lot of people were furloughed, a lot of offices and laboratories were closed down. So there was a lot of education being done online. And what we realized is that there's a ton of clinicians as well as laboratory technicians that were looking for education, and not just like high level overview education. They wanted more detailed education specifically on full arch therapy. So what we did as a team is we created a mastership program, which was like a number of different courses online, like on demand prerequisites. And then we created like this weekend immersion course specifically on, removable and fixed prostheses. And so this is something that has evolved over the years. And now with our own facility here in Las Vegas, we have a full operatory, a full dental practice actually here on site. And we're bringing live patients. We've brought in, clinicians from not only around the country, but we've had clinicians from around the world come and attend the mastership. So it's just something that we saw where the need is, and the need is continuously still there.
Yeah.
And we're just doing everything possible to support the dental community.
How long have you been with Zest, Todd?
It's been over 6.5 years now.
Nice.
Have you ever run into anyone that's never heard of the Locator?
No.
I didn't think so. It's kind of like Coca-Cola.
Oh, Lord, I knew this was going to happen.
You talk about education, but you really don't need to let anybody know about it. Everybody knows about it, I would imagine.
It's a core, staple, I feel, with solutions out there.
And you mentioned around the world. Is it in every country?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, we work with a number of different dealers and distributors as well as implant manufacturers globally to support Locator.
I bet. All right, Amy, you're the new one. We get to hear your story.
We need your story.
So when I ran into you at Derby, I looked at your foot and you had a tattoo.
I did. I do.
And I was like,
I do.
No, this has meaning. This has meaning, everybody. Hang with me. And I look at this thing and I said, is that a David Bowie tattoo? And Amy goes, you're the only person that's ever recognized that.
Ever.
That's strange to me.
I am so not surprised, y'all.
So, I've had this tattoo on the front of my left foot for probably 15 years. And yes, in all the times I've gone out, and nobody has ever acknowledged that or recognized that it was for David Bowie. So
I'm curious, Elvis, how did you notice her tattoo?
I don't know. I'm a David Bowie fan.
Oh, there you go. All right. That makes sense.
And I said to Elvis that Elvis Presley and David Bowie share the same birthday.
Oh, my
That's
God.
Right.
No wonder.
See? So there is that connection between the two.
How did you know Elvis Presley shared the same birthday as David Bowie?
So when I was in high school, I did it's like a kind of big paper on David Bowie, and I did all this research, and just in my research, that came up about his name and how he got the name Bowie and all of it. So if anyone ever wants to forget dentistry and learn about David Bowie, you've come to the right place.
Call you.
Yeah. She's
I've
a
got to
chock
get
full of
all my
knowledge.
questions in now because I know you guys are going to geek out about implants. So I just was, the first 10 minutes be mine, and then I'm going to hand it over. So
Absolutely.
that's fantastic. I
Yeah.
can't believe you knew that.
Yeah.
So, Amy, where do you come from? Do you just end up at Zest, start talking in Kentucky about locators?
There's no way.
Where's your background from?
Well, my dental journey started about 25 years ago when I was in college, didn't know what I wanted to do, that general biology major, as most of us do. And what are you going to do with that? And it was a family member of mine that said, have you ever thought about going into dentistry? And
so hold on. Was that family member in dentistry?
Yep. She's a dental hygienist.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was, hey, did you ever think about being a dental hygienist? I'm like, absolutely not. I don't want to be looking at people's mouths all day. But, so I decided to take a look at it. And in a local college near me, I live in Connecticut, offered a dental assisting program. It was a kind of a 1-year dental assisting certificate program. I says, hey, let's try it out, change of pace. Started that up, went my first day of class, walked out of class and fell in love. I remember going out to dinner that night with some friends and drawing on a napkin the general anatomy of a tooth.
So like you were just all in, you just knew.
And
this
after
was
boring them for about a half hour of talking about dentin, enamel, and pulp, I was hooked.
That is so cool.
And they all said, she finally stopped talking about David Bowie.
Exactly. And I've now moved into dentistry. So now I can talk about both because, when David Bowie switched from his David Bowie English teeth to a full set of, I think, PFMs, that was a little upsetting.
Those teeth were not pretty.
No, I think that was a wife decision that made him go into a roundhouse PFM.
1987, my best friend, she loved him. And I was just kind of like, I'm not feeling it. She's like, he's just so beautiful. I'm like, his teeth are effed up.
So after that, a few years later, I worked as a dental assistant, loved it, loved being a certified dental assistant, worked for a great general practice in Wolcott, Connecticut, but went on to hygiene school and fell in love with becoming a dental hygienist and did that and then just kept going, earned my bachelor's degree in dental hygiene and just loved being a clinician. Was a clinician for about 10 years as a hygienist. But like Todd was alluding to, after COVID, things kind of changed. And I started to feel that pressure and stagnation of being a hygienist and started looking elsewhere. And
so what does that mean? Help me understand that when you say pressure and stagnation.
The repetitiveness of being a hygienist. You wake up, you start at 8 a.m., you see 8 to 10 patients a day, and then you kind of go home.
It's just like repetition,
not only physical repetition, but mental repetition. And, was I ever really making a difference in the dental community, in the just general community? And, not really. Yes, I'd go on my soapbox and talk about flossing and bacteria and gum disease.
But you didn't feel like you had vision, huh?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was really, really impactful. I mean, it was for that short time. Yes, for those 45 minutes treating the patient, it was impactful. And I'd see children, I'd see geriatric population and everywhere in between. And it was impactful. But I knew with my passion of dentistry and my passion for education, I wanted to do more. And that's what led me to kind of look outside of that clinical realm, but still stay in that dentistry arena, which I put so much education myself, personal education into. I wasn't going to give that up and start a new career path. That's kind of what led me into the laboratory space, working as a sales rep, believe it or not, for a lab.
So what? So so you put your, whatever out and application out or resume, I should say.
Yeah, it was a resume and they loved the fact that I had that dental background.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, we totally do.
As I'm sitting here next to the director of sales, I hated sales. It was just not my thing. But I'm like, hey, I can fake it until I make it and I can sell something. And
lab sales
said that, Elvis.
Yeah.
Lab sales are hard. Because you're not selling widgets. You're selling something that might not work.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go in there and I'd start talking and then I'd get into the back room and then I'd look at, cases and then you start geeking out again. And then they would kind of trust me and say, oh, she knows what she's talking about. She's not just selling just, I say used car salesman. I actually knew what I was talking about. So I did very good in my job as a sales rep for this laboratory. And same thing, I kind of sold by way of education. But in true Amy style, kind of got bored of that and moved into a clinical support role for the lab. And they started teaching me on the job on conversions, denture conversions for all on X cases. And I actually had a traveling mobile dental lab, and I would go to offices and sit there during surgery, convert the denture. So, same thing, started back up in schooling, learning about CDT, and I don't stop because I want to perfect what I'm doing.
So you were in a dental lab in a van?
In a van, yes.
So you must have been one of the first ones.
I could be. I don't know when that started, but all I know is I was rolling around in this van with pressure pots rolling around and polymer and monomer in the back, for a good time. And yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Did you like it?
I loved it. And that's what had me moving on and getting that CDT, accreditation onto that. People make fun of me that I have a lot of letters after my name. And I think I just want to, I'm going to go for the whole alphabet. I'm going to go for
So do I, sister. So do I.
I'm going to go for the whole suite. I just love
like you.
Thanks, Barb. I like you too.
Yeah, that's special. I'm serious. I mean that in a respectful way. I think that's
Thank
badass.
you. I appreciate that. I loved what I was doing. Like, I loved that I could talk to the doctors as a dental professional and not I'm an employee of a lab or a sales rep or whatever the case may be.
No, I'm Amy.
I could sit there and we could talk about, dentures, and I can talk about teeth and patients in that connection in the service we're providing for them. You got these patients that were either a dentalist or terminal dentician, and then they walk out of there with a set of teeth. You're changing people's lives. And so that was very exciting to me.
So you were doing like old school conversions.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With the the acrylic poured dentures and everything.
Yep,
How long were you doing those for?
About a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a sketchy lathe that was taped together with duct tape and hoping that thing.
I still have one of those.
Yeah, like, can I get a new lathe? The chuck is broken. Nah, just slap some duct tape on it and hope for the best. So
you'll be fine.
I still have all of my fingers, and my eyesight is pretty good. That left eye got a
right on.
So I'm doing pretty good.
And how many of these conversions did you do and you thought to yourself, they should be a Locator denture?
They should be a Locator. Believe it or not, I did not know about Locator. I knew about Zest as a dental professional, but in that hygiene, you kind of know overdenture. And, I started going on some of these sponsorships and some of these dental events locally where I was in the Northeast area, and I started talking and teaching. And I've never done that.
Oh, really? You were doing that back then?
Yeah. It was just like, hey, Amy, do you want a microphone? I'm like, absolutely, I want a microphone. And I would start talking about the lab, and I'd talk about what you can do with fixed full arch and, screw retained and conversions and also promoting the laboratory and, hey, I can come to you and we can do this in the office. You don't have to have a lab. I will come to you. So at that moment where I was speaking on Long Island, and it was kind of brought up to me about a position that was possibly available with Zest Dental Solutions, and looked into it. And that was about almost 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, where I started at Zest. Again, back to a sales rep. They suckered me back in as a sales rep. I knew that it wasn't going to last long because I knew I wanted to be more clinical, and then morphed into a clinical role. And I say because Todd was my manager. He was my boss. And after about a year of that, I couldn't stand that anymore. So I did.
Nice segue.
I moved into a clinical support role that was supporting some of our DSO accounts. But it was nice because I kind of got back to my roots of scrubs and dentistry and talking dentistry.
So what does that mean, clinical role? Like, instead of selling parts and pieces to labs, you go and educate the clinics on how to use the parts?
At Zest, we have a great division they're called clinical support representatives. And they're all dental background. They're either a dental hygienist or dental assistant. So we have these wonderful, persons that are dental background that go to these offices and support them from everything from stock reorganization to lunch and learns and education to evening programs to troubleshooting and kind of everywhere in between. So It really connects the clinician with Zest in a very, very clinical base, non-selling, pushy type of environment, and knowing that we are here to support them. We want them to feel supported. We want them to use the product and help these patients out. So we have clinical reps across the country that work in conjunction with our sales reps, and they work with the education team, and they're just a great resource that we have at Zest to allow for offices and laboratories, and they go into labs as well and help educate the lab technicians, and just to kind of spread the good word of Locator, Locator Fixed, and Locator Angled.
Who needs more help, clinicians or labs?
That's a great question. I mean, I would say the clinicians do. I say it's the doctors.
Yeah.
They come out of dental school, they learn to make one denture nowadays. They come out maybe making 1 or 2 dentures, and we throw them into the fire. And, yes, you got these dentists, they want to do cosmetics, they want to do veneers, they want to do single tooth crowns, but then they see that denture walk through the door and they freeze and they don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, they call me.
Yeah, and they say, please, and now we're in this transition time where, do we want to do analog? Do you want to do digital? And they don't even know what to do. They're like, how do I start this? And we get those cases. What do I do? Where do I start?
So they call Zest and say, like, how do I start this?
They do. We get questions, and Todd, I'm sure you get a lot of questions like this from your reps, and they ask all the time, I have a patient, what do I do?
So you guys, that builds loyalty. I just want to say, so the one thing that I know is when they need help and you're there, that builds loyalty, and it also helps them build. So Todd, tell us.
I totally agree. I mean, we have our reps on the street, our clinical folks on the street, but we also have a great technical service team in-house. So, any clinician or any technician can call the 800 number. They could actually go on our website and hit the chat box and get somebody live within 30 seconds. They can just chat with them by typing. They can actually, depending on their device that they're using, they can even do something, via like just speaking, or even doing almost like a FaceTime, and it can kind of review, especially if they have a patient in the chair. And that's why it kind of ties back to education again, is because there's so many clinicians out there that want that additional education, and there's building blocks to be able to really support those patients that they're needing to provide for in their practice.
So if I'm chairside and I need to change out an insert, and the current insert is brown, you can tell me what color it used to be?
That's
Sorry, it's an inside joke.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yes, we can. To answer your question, Elvis.
Oh, you can.
We can help identify insert color.
Nice. Something I want to touch on. I haven't had a chance to see one in person, but the angled abutments. We've only been asking for them for 20 years?
25
10 years?
27.
25 years? What brought them out, and how are they doing?
So to answer, the first question, what brought them out is, that was definitely, as you know, a need in the industry for this, and they're available now. We're working on, multiple different connections for different companies as we move along. The reason things have taken longer, instead of having a full blown out launch of every single connection, is because through the FDA, we're not making just a locator that screws into the internal threads of a dental implant. This angled abutment is actually, integrating with the geometric shape of the connection of the implant. So there's more involved with that, and there's a lot more red tape to go through with the FDA. So we have a number of different companies right now. Neodent with the Grand Morris. We have Nobel Conical. We have Zimmer with their tapered screw vent. We have Straumann with the BLX. And then we have a number of other companies, or I should say connections, that are coming out like very, very shortly. And you're going to continue to see that throughout the rest of the year going into next year. There's just going to be a continuation of that portfolio. But I think as everybody knows, not only from a clinical standpoint, but as a technician standpoint, it was something that was needed, for a long time. That project, kind of they were working on that behind the scenes as we launched Locator Fixed. But once Locator Fixed was already established and completed, then they put a lot of energy into the Angled Locator, which now allowed us to launch what we currently have now.
And it's just one angle, right?
Currently, right now, it's just one angle. It's 15 degrees. And the reason for that is that depending on whatever type of case you're working on, whether it's removable or fixed, and based on the angulation that you need to get that as parallel as possible, you're able to achieve that with the 15 degrees plus all the various types of inserts that are out there. So if you need to do a removable case and you can use the extended range. If you're doing a Locator Fixed case, the Locator Fixed inserts can go up to 20 degrees per site just in itself. So you can imagine 20 degrees plus 15 degrees, that's already giving you 35 degrees to achieve that. So right now, 15 degrees is really all you need.
Are there plans to do other degrees, or do you think that should be enough?
That's a great question. I mean, right now it looks like that should be enough. I mean, this conversation has come up with our R&D team, but at this point, our goal is to get to the market all of the current angle that we have now for all of the connections that are available.
I've always said if you need more than the extended range, it's a surgery problem, not a prosthetic problem.
Oh, Lord, here we go. I knew this was going down. Minute 25.
You were waiting for it, Barb, waiting.
I was. Elvis loves this stuff, and I totally get it. So go for it.
Now I feel like I'm on the spot.
You are on the spot.
No, I've got to hear this.
Oh, Barb.
So what was your question?
Well, if the implants are so divergent and you can't compensate it with the parts and the pieces that come with Locator, then the surgery is to blame because the implants are too divergent. Wrong here?
These are Locator Fixed. A lot of times with like all on X type cases, those implants are purposely put at an angle to avoid anatomical landmarks. So with that said, we get the implants where they need to be with sufficient bone, and then we correct the angles. In the past, it was with MUA. And, as most, clinicians and technicians know, we make a locator that goes onto the universal MUA.
Mm-hmm.
But then that becomes a stackable type of process that also takes more restorative space. Whereas now, if you put a 15-degree locator angle with a Locator Fixed insert, you're going to be able to achieve the angles that you need, even when you had angled those implants purposely.
Well, yeah, because an MUA can only go up to 30, and you're going up to what? 35?
Yeah, 35 max if you need that.
You're even 5 more.
17, you could accommodate the 30. But once again, it's set up to where, you have more opportunity to do these cases, utilizing Locator and using, whether Locator removable or Locator Fixed.
Yeah.
But I'm going to validate all this. 35 degrees is aggressive. So if you're over 35 degrees, could be a surgical problem.
There you go. That's the verification.
Do you feel better now? We got to.
I do. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you. Amy, when you showed up at Zest and started working in sales, was it difficult to grasp the concepts of all of it, or were you already pretty familiar with the whole system of Locator and Fixed? And what happened to the other one? TX? What happened to that? FTX?
So FTX and then RTX is another abutment.
Yeah.
So I'll let Todd talk on that one, but I'm going to say to answer the question on
sorry.
hard to grasp. No, it's a multiple part question. No, it wasn't hard to grasp because of that dental background to begin with and the lab background on top of it. And then my nerdism of going back to school and everything, I would drive and listen to Dr. Shear's YouTube channel on Learn Locator and learning the terminology and learning, like you said, the widgets, learning the pieces and parts. So, we have a great online education system at Zest. We have a lot of great resources, and even our YouTube channel is a great resource. So it didn't take me long to get down the parts and pieces and how to utilize it. I mean, Locator's pretty straightforward. It's one abutment, Once you kind of get that concept,
you would be surprised.
I know.
Yeah.
But once you kind of do it, it's pretty much.
Well, why do you say you'd be surprised, Elvis?
Because I talk to so many clinicians, and they just don't understand that once you have that Locator abutment in, it's all the same on top. And they also always call inserts O-rings, and it drives me nuts.
Drives me nuts, too. I mean, we also get a lot of, we'll get some pictures in tech support, and we have a picture of an overdenture abutment. They're like, oh, it's a Locator. And we're like, no, that's not a Locator. So, if we have to get over that hurdle first of identifying, is it a Locator or is it another overdenture abutment? So, I agree. I think we're fighting kind of an uphill battle sometimes, but
you're doing it. You're taking them out to Vegas and giving them everything.
Absolutely.
I just need them to call it an insert.
Not an O-ring. Trust us. We get that all the time with the
What
different...
is an O-ring versus an insert? Or is it just vocabulary?
I'm going to let them do it.
Talk to me.
It's different. An O-ring is the shape of an O. It's almost like it's an O-ring. It's an O-shaped ring that'll fit over like a donut that fits over like almost like a ball attachment.
Okay. So you got O and you got ball, my two favorite words.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And it goes over like a gasket over a ball.
Trailer hitch.
Yeah, that's a better word of looking at a trailer hitch, where an insert,
Actually,
a nylon insert, goes into a housing that snaps over the abutment. So
Okay.
almost like a Lego where it
Makes
snaps
sense. But
over.
why do you think they confuse it?
I always figured they got it wrong because O-ring was the only thing they learned in school. But
Oh,
And that's
that
a
makes
huge part of it
sense.
too. They don't know the terminology, or that's what they're used to.
And a lot of these GPs see like 1 or 2 patients a year, you know?
Why?
And they just don't do it enough to get good at it.
Okay.
I think they're afraid of dentures. They're afraid of
Yes.
denture. And one of the things we're trying to solve is that case acceptance. They feel they're already
100%.
going into these patients that said, oh, they can't afford an implant-supported prosthesis, so I'm not even going to present it to them. And they just kind of give them a denture, and their mother had a denture, and their aunt had a denture, and their friend had a denture, so that's what I want to get, a denture. And the dentist is either doesn't want to explain it, doesn't know how to explain it, or does not believe that the patient has that value or is creating a value in their treatment. And so they're not even proposing implant-supported prostheses as an option.
Or they're not comfortable doing it and they're afraid to present it.
Right.
Because then they're going to have to do it.
Right, yeah, then they're going to be put on the spot as, oh my gosh, I have to actually do this and actually pick up a denture or, for an overdenture, or write a lab script to a lab and requesting overdenture. They don't even know the words. They can't get O-ring down. How are they going to write a prescription? So, that's part of our education. I say part of our education initiative is not just teaching them the pieces and parts and the techniques. It's all encompassing. It's teaching them that case acceptance, teaching them how to talk about overdenture therapy. What is an overdenture? Starting at the bottom, what's an overdenture? What's the difference between removable and fixed? What's the difference between tissue supported and tissue retained? So, there's or implant supported and implant retained rather. So there's a lot that we want to do and a lot that we're educating these clinicians on.
You're fighting the good fight, in my opinion.
We are fighting the good fight. One locator at a time.
So Todd, what happened to FTX?
So FTX came out in 2016, and it came out while I was in the lab space. And so kind of similar to Locator Fixed, where you have a fixed like hybrid restoration, but with no screws, no cement. The only thing is with FTX, it's a new abutment design, and it's almost like a peak ball that's screwed into the housing of the denture. And so there wasn't as much surface area, with this, and it actually worked well. But at the time, there was no direct representation on the street from Zest. So education really from like videos or came from literature. And that was pretty much it. So we had clinicians that had really good success and others that had some frustrations with it. And I think pretty much based on not having that type of support on the ground. And so over the years, when we took over Zest, we realized is that we would still have that product, but we weren't going to majorly push it. We were going to focus on what we did best, which was removable. At the same time, looking at another option out there for fixed, but something that had to be simple. And so the design started with, it has to fit on the traditional locator abutment, not a new abutment, not any type of new design. It had to be specific, that what doctors are familiar with, and snap over the existing locator abutment. And so where Locator Fixed came into play then was to create a new housing, which looks fairly similar to the original one, just different color, more retentive elements. But the insert's actually a proprietary material that it's milled, it's precision milled.
You milled each one of those tiny little things?
Yes. And
that's awesome.
That's where you got to get the precision from, because if you think about it, minimum 4 implants, you get that cross arch stabilization, but there's no indexing. We're talking about round componentry. So when it actually snaps over the locator, it's fixated. There's no micro macro movement. And so it's a different surface area than what like FTX was. So FTX, those components are still available for those, clinicians that are working.
Oh, really?
Pieces. They're available, but it's not available in terms of like, that's a product that we, actually are pushing or selling.
Oh, I can't start a new case?
Or if you start a new case, it's whatever, whatever's available is there. It would be more optimal to use Locator Fixed because it's far superior in terms of its design and ease of use and workability for the clinician and the technicians.
I mean, I honestly, when I first heard about Fixed, I was like, that's the smartest thing I ever heard, using the exact same abutments. So all the cases that are already removable, you could easily switch them to Fixed with pretty minimal cost.
Correct.
Is that where you're seeing mostly? Is people that were removable becoming Fixed, or are they going straight to Locator Fixed?
This is where we geek out.
Yeah, so this is the exciting stuff.
I know.
It really depends on the case at hand. We see a lot of clinicians that see and get exposed to Locator Fixed, and the first thing they think of is, I have a handful of patients who I would love to convert from their current Locator removable into Locator Fixed. And maybe it's because that's what the patient needs. That's what they wanted. Maybe they couldn't afford it at the time. We still have to take into consideration restorative space, but the ease of taking making a reference denture, for instance, and picking that up in the mouth, which is what majority of clinicians are doing already, all that it's all the same. And then, cutting that back and making a provisional, kind of putting them in there, their training wheels, and making sure that the patient likes having something that's fixed. To the point where we can set the stage for the technician at the laboratory to then decide, what's the best material to use for the definitive prosthesis. So we see a lot of those conversions, taking place. But then there's a lot of clinicians that are gravitating to Locator Fixed because they want to get more involved with the fixed full arch realm in dentistry, but yet they might not have had the training. Maybe they don't have the experience. Maybe they have a certain perception of it costs too much or it's too complicated. And then once you put somebody who is familiar with Locator and show them Locator Fixed and how easy it is, now they start really dipping their toe in that full arch, fixed pond, and they start doing more cases. Even to the point where when they're working on a case and they're prescribing Locator Fixed, and the technician comes back and says, well, this case might work better if it's screw retained. And the clinician is like, well, what do I need to do? What are other steps? And so Locator Fixed has actually expanded the opportunities and horizons for a lot of clinicians that have never done fixed full arch, and now they're doing it on a regular basis.
Interesting. But a patient in a current Locator, you can't just change out the housings to fix, cut off the flanges, and deliver it?
You could. So you would actually do a new pickup.
Yeah, just pick up the new housings, yeah.
Right. Theoretically, yes, you could do that. But you have to think about, well, is that going to be your definitive prosthesis? Because the denture may or may not have any reinforcement. And the reinforcement that it probably, if it does have it,
it should.
It's probably just a mesh. And so if you look at Locator Fixed, the rules of engagement still apply as screw retained. You would never put a definitive screw retained restoration that's only supported by mesh. You would have full contour zirconia. You would be maybe using some of the new polymers. You would be using, metal, thicker metal, bar, things like that. So all the fundamentals of screw retained fixed full arch all apply to Locator Fixed. So you still want to make sure that you have the proper thickness of your materials, and you can choose whatever material that you want. It's all based on the clinician and based on what the patient needs. So there's nothing holding you back there. But I'll give you an example. We see a lot of these Locator removable cases that they want to convert to fixed. The recommendation is don't do anything with the existing prosthesis. Make a reference denture. Talk with your lab, scan it, duplicate it, whatever you need to do. Make a reference denture. Pick up the reference denture and then cut everything back and then start it as a provisional. And the reason why is because what if something did break? What if something did go wrong? You can easily go and put the patient back into their Locator removable prosthesis, which they're already familiar with.
It already engages all of them.
Exactly. That's your backup if you ever need to for any reason. And then at least you're establishing, this fixed prosthesis in a provisional state. And then if the patient wants different colored teeth, or if they decide, I thought I wanted to have my teeth fixated, but I decided not to. I want to take my teeth out to clean them. Well, now we didn't really commit to anything other than a provisional. We didn't go to the definitive prosthesis yet, but we could still use that as our training wheels. And we're seeing that all the time.
Interesting.
Current denture, whether it's a traditional denture or Locator removable denture, majority of the time, dentists are working with their labs, making a reference denture, and then starting using that as the provisional to continue on to the definitive.
Are you seeing a lot of offices and labs do the printed denture for these cases?
I am, in terms of the provisionals. I see printed dentures being done, but as you know, there's various types of printed materials that are out there. I think the key thing is with all the different types of technology and these materials that are coming out from a printable phase, it still comes down to is also thickness is very, very important. And then, even for the provisional, but as you're getting to the final restoration, I'm seeing a lot of dentures that are being like milled. I do see, a combination of different types of materials, combined together, whether it's zirconia, with a, metal substructure. Once again, it all depends on is the thought process and the belief of the clinician in conjunction with their collaboration with their dental lab, as well as what does the patient need based on their based on their parafunctional habits. All those still apply.
When it's zirconia, what are you, cementing the caps in there?
Yeah.
The housings?
Yes. Just
cannot believe I said cap.
I was just going to say, Elvis, and you're worried about opening and you just said caps?
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I'm not going to edit this either.
I was so ready to say that, so thank you for bringing that up.
But they just cement it in? Don't they have debonding issues or anything?
So it'd be very similar to when a laboratory is cementing the tie bases into a screw routine. So you're still going to sandblast the housings. You're going to prepare the zirconia appropriately. You're going to use a cement that you're using with titanium zirconia, and it still works the same way. So,
nice.
The thing is with debonding, you could see debonding even with screw retain cases.
Oh, you see it all the time.
But why is that? When you break it down, it's a lot of times it's maybe the case wasn't prepared properly, for the cementation.
Yeah.
Others, and part of that is like the spacing. So if you're making the appropriate spacing for the housing and for the cement, you'll be fine. But as you know, even the greatest cements that are out there, if you're relying on too much cement, you could have a problem.
Yeah.
If you have too little cement, you can have a problem. So all these apply to Locator Fixed as well. Now, the interesting thing is with the advent of Locator Fixed and with the fact that a lot of clinicians are familiar with picking up Locator in the mouth, there is a fair amount of clinicians out there that will actually have the prosthesis fabricated by the lab, but they'll actually pick up the housings in the mouth.
That's the preferred way, right?
Well, keep in mind, we're talking about a fixed case. So there is no palate. There are no flanges. So because right now, nobody picks up a definitive screw retain case in the mouth. So it actually opens up even more applications to the clinicians out there. And they're loving it. They'll even pick up zirconia. They isolate each of those areas. They'll cement the zirconia in the mouth. They got the human articulator. They pick it up. The technique is very, very, simple to do. But at the same time, if a clinician is not comfortable with doing that, that's perfectly fine. We can still go through the normal workflow and have the laboratory process everything.
Well, how do they pick up a full arch of zirconia with no palate or flange? You just line it up, bite, and tweak it until it looks good?
If the case was started, even if you had a working model and you're scanning that model, on the bench, or you're scanning the patient's mouth, once the restoration is designed, we have scan caps that actually go on top of Locator. So that actually creates the exact spacing for the housing as well as the material that you're going to lute those housings into that material.
Cement included.
Correct. So
yes, of course, Elvis.
Yes, cement is not extra. No.
Yes.
I know.
So therefore, the clinician will take the housings and put them in the mouth, snap them in the mouth, because the housings have the black inserts initially, just like traditional Locator.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. And then they will, make sure everything's prepared, and then they will use the material, depending on what material that we're using for the prosthesis will depend on the material that's used for picking up the prosthesis. And they'll do a pickup. They'll put it in the mouth, line everything up, have the patient just gently, interdigitate their dentition and let everything cure up. And then once everything's done, they can pop it off because it's easy to pop off because of the black inserts. They'll clean everything up, polish what they need to do, switch out with the final inserts, and snap the restoration in the mouth.
If only there was a place in October that lab technicians could learn more about this.
Here we go. Here's the plug. Let's go.
Well, Elvis, I'm so glad that you brought that question up to me. Because not only am I a dental assistant, a dental hygienist, and everything else, I also manage our education here at Zest Dental Solutions.
Nice.
So
props to you.
Yes, props to me. So with that being said, we are offering a phenomenal program for our laboratory technicians to come to Las Vegas and learn everything Locator. We started earlier in the program talking about our 2-day Zest Mastership program. And we thought that the lab technicians are cool kids too, and they need their own program.
We are.
So we have developed a laboratory mastership course, and It is specifically marketed to laboratory technicians to learn that side of the locator life, that journey. Because a lot of the times, we're teaching the clinicians the dentistry, the implant placement, the AP spread, everywhere in between, and then we just expect magically to get fabricated. And there's that disconnect. We did talk about that in the beginning of how do the doctors translate what they want to the lab technician? And how do the lab technician translate their questions back to the doctor? So with this mastership, it's a full day course in Las Vegas at our Las Vegas Education Center on October 11th. It's full day, kind of 8 to 5 all day. And it's a very intensive lecture and hands-on, so didactic and hands-on. It's being taught by John Madden, who's a phenomenal CDT, who's been...
Oh my God, I love him. He's amazing.
We know him well.
As well as myself will be there as faculty, as well as Todd.
Awesome.
So it is going to be phenomenal program with... you've got John's knowledge, Todd's knowledge, my knowledge. We all have kind of different strengths, and you put us all together, and we really, really have developed a comprehensive program where we take that lab technician from overdentures, componentry, pieces and parts, from analog, digital, how we're kind of doing everything in between. Because not every clinician is digital, not every clinician is just analog, some kind of fall somewhere in between, and lab technicians fall somewhere in between. So we've really developed a curriculum to cover everything from that. So they learn the skills. They do learn the nomenclature of things. They learn the pieces and parts, but it's how to use them, how to make it work for their lab and their workflow. Because again, not everyone does a digital workflow. Not everyone does just an analog workflow. So we've kind of developed this program where we can take that technician, no matter where they are, where they're at the bench, where they're at in their journey as a lab technician, and get them comfortable with Locator, overdenture, Locator Fixed, Locator Angled, and how to have that communication with the doctor to make successful cases. Because we all know as lab professionals, it's not just the frustration coming from the clinician. We have a lot of frustrations on our end too. So we're trying to teach them on what questions to ask their clinician. They should be able to go back and say, hey, I need this. This is what I need to get a success.
That is so true. Yeah.
Everyone puts blame on, why did your crown not fit? Oh, the lab made me a bad crown. Well, let's take a peek at that impression. Let's take a peek at those margins. Did you, can I see full clear margins? Did you retract the cord properly? Did you do all of these things? But instantly we jump down the throat of the laboratory technician. So
always
we want to be able to elevate these lab technicians so they know what to look for. They know what the pieces and parts are. And I call it a recipe. I say, what's the recipe to make a successful overdenture or Locator Fixed utilizing the pieces and parts correctly? So having that lab technician properly educated elevates not only them as a professional, but that lab as a whole. And that's when you get the clinician that says, oh, you have to use this lab. They're phenomenal. And why? Because they're educated and they know what they're doing and they're able to communicate their needs to.
Exactly.
So that's why we've developed this program, and we're super excited because there's an online component as well. We wanted to make it very, very immersive. So the technicians can go online, do some, it's like 10 CE credits for the technicians.
So I've seen it like literally everywhere, especially at my lab. So can you kind of give a lowdown on what they will learn?
Absolutely. So, again, that online pro component starts them off. It's on demand. They can work at their own pace and they can have, there's no timeline to complete it.
Right.
They come into the facility for a 7 CEU program. So it's all day. And we start with right away with hands-on.
Hold on. All day in Vegas.
All day in Vegas. But not night. So I
want to go.
we let you out at night to enjoy Vegas.
Well, I think that's very important because honestly, that's a really good location. Everybody can fly in, direct flight, most of the time. Fly into Vegas and get all the CE and everything you guys have to offer and fly out.
And fly out, great weather. There's something for everybody. We have even at our mastership, a lot of our clinicians come in with their family members and their family members go shopping, whatever, or see the sights, and then they do some education, and then great places to eat, great places for entertainment. So Vegas is a really great location to come and visit and to
love
learn.
it. I would like to be invited to that. I'll come.
Barb, at the end of this, I'm going to give you how to sign up in a little.
I would love that.
I can offer you to.
My son is amazing and needs to go. Sincerely, he's the implant tech. I'm the ceramist, but he's really smart.
And that's what we're seeing is we go into these labs and we hear that and saying, I need something. I want to learn how to do this. So we've developed a program. Barb, I know you were asking what we're going to be learning is. We're going to learn everything Locator Angled, Locator Fixed, the components, the pieces and parts, we're going to get that in their hands and show them how to use it, how to take things apart, put things together, the analog workflow of it, the digital workflow of it. We're going to be talking about impressions, starting from the bottom. It's impressions, how to scan, what we're scanning, what anatomy are we looking for? So when you get this scan at your lab and you open the box, and then you see this impression sitting in your pan. There's times where you want to send it.
What do you do?
You didn't need to capture this. You need to record this. And that's what we're teaching these lab techs.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And how to communicate with the doctors and what they're looking at. We're going to go over, again, digital scans, printed models. We're going to do a demo. We have some scanners that are going to be at the course, do some demonstration, take some impressions. So they get to kind of play with all of the pieces and parts, get some dirt on their hands as well, playing with all of the componentry, and then we're going to go into converting these cases, what to look for an overdenture and converting it into Locator Fixed. So we're going to cram a lot into that 8 hours, but we've dialed it into what a laboratory technician needs and not all that excess that they might not get benefit from. So that's why we wanted to have this dedicated laboratory mastership.
So what is the benefit for you guys? Just to be able to teach, or give me long term?
The benefit for us is that every time we educate somebody, whether it's a clinician or a dental technician, we're working in conjunction together to help the patients that are out there. And so the more educated that everybody is, the more I think the more efficient that everybody is with their workflows, how they're communicating, with each other, to the patients. And so overall, isn't that what our overall goal is? Even the project, everything that we do should be for the best interest of the current patients and future patients. And so that's the benefit for us. If we have everybody being more efficient, then that means that they're using the product properly, having better outcomes, getting more comfortable, and then you're just doing more cases. So it's a win-win-win across the board.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point. You have one doctor do one case and it goes bad. They won't sell it again. They won't even try.
And the other benefit too is, as you all know, in the laboratory industry, we watch every year more and more laboratories close up or try to combine resources together and to keep moving versus where laboratories, were 10, 20 years ago. And then, as you know, over the years, there's less and less educational opportunities for people to become dental technicians. And so one of the biggest problems that we see out there with dental laboratories is it's very difficult to find good people, meaning good technicians, trained technicians. And more labs are going to cross-training their employees. Mm-hmm. And, and a lot of labs rely on one main person for various departments. What happens if that technician leaves? What happens if they pass away? What happens if they just can't practice anymore? Well, then it puts the dental laboratory at risk. So more and more labs are working on their depth chart, cross-training technicians to be able to accommodate, the need that's out there, because it's harder and harder to find dental technicians out there on the field to add to your team. So this laboratory mastership is specifically geared for laboratories and technicians that are looking to cross-train their folks looking to expand the knowledge and skill sets and experience of those folks to be able to accommodate the need that's out there. And so that's what I'm really excited about, because I remember how tough it was for me to bring on new talent when there wasn't a lot of people out there. And then what do? The work keeps coming in. You can only work your people so much. So that's why it's important to kind of diversify, cross-train your folks, decrease your risk of running into issues at the lab because you don't have enough people that are trained.
Well, that brings up an interesting point. What type of technician should labs be sending to this course? New removable technicians, veterans, fixed technicians, all on 4 conversion experts?
So I would say it would be somebody who, it could be somebody who's newer into a department it could be, just talk about full arch therapy, dentures. It could be, implant related for implant removable, implant fixed. And, when talking about the experts, if you have an expert in your laboratory, they're probably already doing all the things that we're teaching. But I can assure you that those experts, you're relying on that one person then, where it'd be more mindful to have cross-training other folks to help them become the experts in the future, right? And that's the goal of most laboratories, is getting all of their technicians being experts at various facets of implant or just dental technology. And I feel that the Zest Lab Mastership is going to help contribute to that.
I'm going to disagree with the expert, because I considered myself an expert. And then when we had a phone call just talking about doing this recording, I learned something. So I think experts can still go to a course and learn something.
I agree with you. We welcome everybody. I mean, it's interesting. We host these clinical, masterships.
Yeah.
For the dentist, and every mastership we have, it could be an oral surgeon, a periodontist, a prosthodontist, periopros, and even dental technicians will join our current mastership programs. And I ask them, what do you want to get out of this program? And they just say, I just want to walk away with some more pearls. I can always be learning. And I love that attitude. And so same thing happens. And you know what? I agree with you. If there's experts out there that feel they want to just continue to learn, even if it's just a couple pearls, and they can get away from the bench, we welcome that. I think that's fantastic.
I love that. It's so smart. Technician burnout and tired of all that stuff, and be able to go away, travel to Vegas, learn some amazing things from you guys, and then come back energized and ready to roll. I love it.
So when is it? October 11th?
It is October 11th.
Yep.
Here in Las Vegas. We have there's a tuition for coming to the course, and it's going to all your supplies and provide you with a great day of learning. So it's $495 per technician to come in. But with this podcast and with listening to this podcast, we have offered a $100 off promotion.
What?
I know.
That's pretty significant, y'all.
Which is.
Let's go.
It's a great promotion. It's just, so there's a promo code. It's very simple. It's Voices Lab. VOICESLAB.
Thank you.
Voices Lab is the promotional code for.
That's unique.
I know. I think I came up, my big brain came up with that all on my own.
I love it.
Because I don't think saying David Bowie Lab would have worked. Voices Lab.
That's pretty funny, Amy. You're awesome.
I try. We really wanted to make this accessible to lab techs. And like you said, burnout is huge across the board with all members of.
I might have experienced it recently.
Might have. So it's great, and to get with like-minded individuals. It's all we run into each other at Lab Day up in Chicago at Midwinter, and why is it such a great event? Because all of us crazy dental lab people can get together and talk lab, and this is a great environment where it's a safe environment. It's a fun environment, and it's just a great opportunity for a day of learning, not only Locator and Locator Fixed, but just continuing in dentistry. And like Todd said, is the outcome is helping patients and improve their quality of life, and that's what we want to do as dental clinicians.
And us too, just being able to get away and be with like-minded people.
Absolutely.
I think that's really nurturing.
It absolutely.
So,
So
yeah,
that's the environment we wanted to create, and we're excited to create. So,
yep.
If anybody has any questions, they can even visit our website, which is very easy. It's zestdent.com, zestdent.com. So I want everyone to go visit zestdent.com. They can find the education tab, find this course, that Lab Mastership course, enter that promo of Voices Lab to get that $100 off.
Thank you,
Or even
guys.
like Todd mentioned, we have great online resources for education. We have that chat function on our website. They can even type in and speak to somebody directly with tech support.
That's huge.
So we want to just be available. We want everybody, clinicians, lab techs, dental assistants.
Well, I'm going to do my best at Night Dental here in Oldsmar, Florida. I know my son wants to go, so we're in. Thank you.
Sign up,
awesome.
And I will look forward, myself and Todd and John Madden, look forward to welcoming you to Las Vegas on October 11th.
John Madden's the bomb.
Yeah.
He is. We're super excited. We have a great program. And we
look
forward to seeing everybody there.
Well, the question that I know that's on Barb's mind right now is how far away is this facility from the Strip?
Oh, stop it.
We're looking outside of our boardroom.
That's not fair. I wasn't.
You can see it?
Maybe 20 years ago, possibly, but not now. I'm sending my son, for crying out loud. He's 27.
Perfect.
Or you're going to come as chaperone, so I expect to be here as well.
Yeah, I'm in. That's a great
He's
question,
going to have to come
Elvis.
back without his mom.
Yeah. Thank you, Elvis. Appreciate you.
Well, Todd, Amy, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I'm a big fan of the Locator. Love me some overdentures.
Same.
Love that you're doing the education, not just for laboratory. I mean, that's great, but man, you got a lot of work ahead of you with those clinicians. So thank you.
We absolutely do. And Elvis and Barb, thank you so much for having us on. We appreciate
that was super.
Thank you.
And your dedication to learning Locator. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, I guess Barb will see you there in October.
Get the word out. All right. Let's go.
Talk to you all later.
All right. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And a big thanks to Todd and Amy for coming on our podcast and talking about David Bowie. I mean, your laboratory master program, just saying. This sounds like an amazing course for anybody that does any kind of full arch cases, even if you don't work on overdentures. Just think, a course just for lab people. And it's Vegas, like super cool Vegas. What could go wrong? I don't know what could go wrong, but it might go wrong. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
A bunch of lab people in Vegas?
Oh, it happens on October 11th, which is like 3 weeks away.
It's close.
There's a link to register on this episode's show notes, so don't forget to use the code VOICESLAB. Guys, $100 off. Let's go. And thank you for doing that, Zest. So, guys, $100 off. Let's go.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for you. And, of course, we will talk to you next week.
Have a good week, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
And they are.
Stop. Oh, hold on. I'm laughing. Okay, go.
The views and opinions expressed on the Voices from the Bench podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the host or Voices from the Bench, LLC.